Hello, everyone. We're back. We're back on United TV, and the season is also back as well this weekend. United take on Hull City in the first game of the Premier League season. The first official game of the season as a whole is tomorrow night when Coventry take on Arsenal. So that'll be exciting to see. But we're focusing on our game on Saturday, a lunchtime kickoff, 12:45. So a little bit of a sticky one, but there's a lot to talk about. We will potentially have Max on as well, who is a Hull City fan. He'll be coming on the stream at some point. But how are you guys? Hope you guys have had a good day. Hope you guys are doing well. Before we get into it, please feel free to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and also feel free to leave us your thoughts and predictions in the comment section down below. We always love to hear what you guys have to say. So yeah, thanks you to everyone who is already in the live chat and tuning in. You have me today. I'm sure you'll have Rich and others on other days. But Stephanie, thank you very much for joining. Appreciate it. He says, looks like Kieran, sounds like Kieran. Wait a minute, it must be Kieran. It absolutely is. This is not AI. This is the real thing. Jim, thanks for joining. Hope you're well. And Rich as well. Big up Rich in the chat. So yeah, we're just gonna have a bit of a chat today, a bit of a look ahead to United's first game of the season. Hull City are not the visitors. We're the visitors to Hull on Saturday, and it's one of those games where, in my opinion, it's not a nice game really to start the season. Playing the one of the newly promoted sides away from home, they're going to be absolutely buzzing for it. It's going to be quite a strong atmosphere, I'm sure, and it's going to be a test for us, especially considering if you read anything into our pre-season form, we look a little bit undercooked. We have also had some interesting transfer updates as well in between our last pre-season game and now, so we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. But just general vibes from people in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking going into the new season. Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? Are you a little bit in between? Let me know in the live chat just what your general vibe is, because I think before the start of the season, I always try and be positive. It's kind of the last time that you can dream for a while, because ultimately nothing's happened yet. All the talk, all the bravado, all the looking at other teams and who they've signed, looking at what we've done in the transfer window. Ultimately, all the talking is over come Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week as all the teams start their Premier League season. So all the talk about whether we've done good business or not good business will be decided really at the end of the season. So it's exciting, nerve-wracking, and everything in between. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's always a bit of a buzz on the eve of the Premier League season starting. It does feel like it's been, to be honest, not that long since since the Premier League season ended. It feels like we've had a lot of football, obviously with the World Cup. So it doesn't feel like there's been too much of a break, even though it has been 2 or 3 months. So yeah, but it's good to have club football back. Obviously, there's a few international breaks as well, and a few quite big breaks in the early part of the season. I think between like the 18th of September and the 10th of October, there's a break. So it's one of those where, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But thanks everyone for joining, by the way. Kate Cadet, hope you're well. And Neil, thanks for joining as well. Hope you're well, my friend. Stephanie says, pessimistically optimistic is my default saying. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think cautiously optimistic, I'm going to read that as. And Jay Red, thanks for joining. Hope you're well. He says, I like the Baleba signing. I just don't understand why we never went for him. Yeah, obviously, we probably could have brought Baleba in earlier. Well, I say earlier, 2 years earlier, probably. It felt like we were one of the teams that were heavily linked with him and heavily looking at him as a signing, but ultimately we didn't do the deal. Even after he made himself pretty clear that he wanted United. So it is a bit frustrating. Obviously, it's only come really now where it feels like we're quite close to the start of the season. If we were able to do this deal earlier, maybe that would have been more beneficial for us, because we would have actually been able to see him in pre-season, integrate him in the team a little bit more. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And obviously, he comes in with a bit of an injury. I think he's got a ligament injury, which is going to see him out until September. So we probably won't see Baleba until at least after the first international break of the season, which is frustrating. But at the same time, I'm happy that we have kind of plugged that gap because, as you know, leads on to what Rich was asking. Happy with the signings. I, I'm 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 kind of about a 5 or 6 out of 10 for me. I think talking about Baleba, obviously we signed three midfield players now. Frustrated that we waited as long as we did, and we were kind of talking on the previous stream that I was on with Rich and Jules as well, about kind of what sort of business we would do in the last few weeks of the window, and we kind of said the only business we can see doing is almost a bit of a panic buy out of nowhere. And to be fair, Baleba's not necessarily out of nowhere. We've been looking at him for a couple of years now. However, um, it does feel like a little bit panicky the fact that we've waited to this point in the kind of preseason campaign to bring him in. To only have a couple of weeks before the start of the season feels like we've underprepared a little bit in that area. But I think he's exactly the profile that we need. I think he's someone that a lot of people identified as a kind of successor to Casemiro role in that midfield. I think he brings up the physical level quite a lot, very athletic, strong, but also decent on the ball as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he fits in. My one worry with him is his injury record. And I'm not sure if you guys are on the same wavelength, but I do worry a little bit about his injury record. And hopefully, with playing, in 3 or 4 competitions and potentially playing kind of, 2 or 3 games a week at times, um, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for him to cope. Obviously, with Brighton, for example, um, he was really playing. Okay, he played maybe a bit of Europa League, but that was about it. So, yeah, it's going to be something that he's going to have to adapt to. And obviously, with his injury record, it's a bit worrying. But I think the profile of the player and who we brought in, I think is positive, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily happy with the timing of when we brought him in. Let's see a few comments. Jim says, "I'm just glad football is back. Hope we play well." I hope you're right. I hope you're right, because if we've waited this long for the season to start and then we get off to a bad start against a newly promoted side, the tide is not well. There's going to be quite a lot of backwards momentum, if that makes any sense at all, which it doesn't. The Cake Cadet says, "Looking forward to the game. Let's batter Hull 4-0 to United." I hope you're right, Cake Cadet. I really am. I really do hope you're right. For me, I think it's going to be more difficult a test than maybe some people imagine. I know on paper, if you compare the two sides, we are very much superior in terms of personnel, but I also think that first game of a new season, hostile atmosphere. I think Hull have been away from the Premier League for 9 seasons, 9 years. So for them, it's obviously massive. And it's just a difficult fixture. It's always a difficult fixture, always very difficult for the neutral to predict. So I'm looking forward to it from an entertainment point of view, but I'm also a little bit worried about a potential opening day upset. But let's hope that doesn't occur. Matthew, thanks for joining us. What's the expectation for the season? It's a very good question. Before I answer it, I'll just introduce a few more people. Jules is in the house. Thanks for joining, Jules. Appreciate it. Agile Beast, hope you're doing well, my friend. Thanks for joining. And G, Red Yelsu, hope you're doing well, G. Thanks for joining. Hope you are well, my friend. But yeah, expectations for the season. And actually, if you're in the live chat as well, I want to hear your thoughts on this, because it's an interesting question, especially considering the transfer business that we've ended up doing, despite potentially the expectations of the transfer business, the expectation that we had before the end of last season, or when we were coming into this preseason, of what we may do. I think there's definitely positions that we haven't really strengthened. I think a left back, for example, is something that we're still very much crying out for. Obviously, we brought 3 midfielders in, which is what people were kind of hoping we would do. I think Tielemans and Santos, not bad signings. Baleba, again, I like the signing, but I don't necessarily like the timing of it. I feel like we've waited quite a long time, where maybe we could have done this deal earlier. I mean, looking at the squad on paper, I think in terms of expectations, it's going to be kind of looking to qualify for the Champions League and then a trophy. I think really we're in that kind of position right now where we're wanting to gain some stability and we're wanting to gain um, some reliability in terms of qualifying for the Champions League year on year because we haven't had that for a while. It feels like every other season we're in and out of the Champions League, we're in the Europa League, or in the worst case, we haven't got Europe at all. So I think for me, um, Champions League and a trophy. I know I've said it a lot of times in these preseason predictions and things like that. But my expectation is kind of preseason a trophy, but also I want to see a consistent style of play. I want to see a consistent level of performance across the 38 games and across the other competitions as well. Because that would show me that we're going in the right direction, and it feels like you know the following seasons, I can also kind of really back this project with Carrick. He made a good start last season, but then he's obviously got that new manager bounce energy. This is really where we need to see the fruits of the labour, and hopefully we do. But let me know your season predictions in the live chat, and I'll go through them. Kate Cadet says, if we can't beat relegation for the Hull, then it's going to be a long season. Totally agree. Stephanie says, biggest selection issue, who plays left forward? I'm guessing it's between Dorgu and Cunha, but Dorgu probably edges it. Yeah, well, I've got my predicted 11. I can show you that in a few minutes. But yeah, that's going to be a bit of a selection dilemma, especially with Sesko out as well. It's going to be interesting to see how that forward line shapes up because actually, when Sesko was fit and available last season, it felt like we had a little bit more of a settled forward line. But now Sesko's out, we have a lot of different forward players that can kind of play across that front three. But where they're going to play, I don't know. Um, let's see. Matthew says midfield of Tielemans, Santos, Baleba, and Mainu is solid and efficient, but not exciting. Yeah, I don't think looking at those players, maybe barring Tielemans, you're not looking at anyone who's kind of, I don't know, Mainu potentially, but it's definitely a kind of a workman-like midfield, I think, with Santos and Baleba. I think Mainu is and Tielemans are better on the ball. So they can provide a little bit of excitement, but it's obviously not. I wouldn't say it's up there with the kind of world's best midfield, so I wouldn't say that. But I don't think it's bad. I don't think those options are terrible. For me, it's more that I would have rather seen Baleba come in maybe a couple months earlier, so we could have bedded him into the squad a little bit more. Unfortunately, he picked up an injury in pre-season, and that I think may hurt his development a little bit in the early part. As I said, he's not going to be available for us until probably after the first international break in September, which is frustrating. Jules says, I'm much happier with our dealings with that Baleba deal. We still need a left back as a minimum, though. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think until we address the left back spot, I think it's difficult really to predict us any higher than maybe fourth this season. But it's definitely something we still need to address. Let's see. Oh, Doug, how are you doing, mate? Good to see you. Yeah, long time no speak. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Great channel over there. So yeah, mate. Hope you're doing well, Doug. Good to see you. Stephanie says Premier League expectation, third bare minimum, and win a cup plus decent run in Champions League. No pressure. Yeah, obviously the Champions League run would be really nice. Obviously, the last time we were in the Champions League, it was a bit of a damp squib going out in the group phase. We had that one game where Anana saved the penalty late on, but other than that, we conceded far too many goals. I think we averaged like 3 goals conceded a game in our group phase, so that's not on really. So yeah, hopefully we do a little bit better. But it's our first foray into this kind of new big group system as well, so that'll be interesting to see how we navigate that. A few more big games under the lights at Old Trafford, so looking forward to it. Jules says there's no reason we can't be the best of the rest, but we do need that left back. Yeah, fair enough. Old Mickey, how you doing? He says, hi, all sorry I'm late, catching up watching Richard's stream from earlier. Nice one, hey. We're not going to knock you for that. We're not going to knock you for watching streams on this channel, but thank you for joining, Mickey. Really appreciate it. Sorry, just got a message there. Rich says maybe Baleba finds his old form. I hope so. I hope he does. That's another thing that concerns me slightly, and my cope with the fact that Baleba hasn't been showing his best form recently for Brighton is that I kind of am hoping that that's because his head was on a move to Manchester United and he's not been able to focus properly. Maybe you say if that is the case, there's question marks over his mentality. However, the fact he is at United now, if that is true, which obviously I'm kind of making it up on the fly, but if that is true, then hopefully the fact that he's now got his move, he's going to start playing the way we know he can play that we saw a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, I agree that actually in his last season with Brighton, he didn't necessarily pull up many trees. He wasn't exactly kind of shining the way we saw him a couple of seasons ago, where you know he was on the lips of a lot of the top clubs, not just in England but around Europe in terms of midfield target. Neil says, "I'll do my prediction when the transfer window closed." Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, Doug says, I think any United fan take a 1-0 at Hull. Tough opening game. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I said at the start of the stream that I feel like away from home against a newly promoted side, Hull, the last time they were in the Premier League was I think 9 years ago or 9 seasons ago. So for them, it's obviously a really exciting day, and they've, fully earned their kind of time in the Premier League again, and obviously the whole place, the whole town, no, sorry, the whole city. Don't know why I said town. Whole city is clues in the name. The whole city of Hull will be absolutely buzzing for the game, and yeah, it's always tricky. It's always tricky. You always see those games where a top team goes to a newly promoted side early on and they cause some problems, and it's quite an intimidating atmosphere. Not that necessarily we should use that as an excuse if we lose, because I think on paper we are a lot stronger, but it's a bit of a sticky first game to have, to be honest. But looking forward to it. It's always good to have the Premier League back with us. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Mickey says, like what's happening or not, football is back, and so glad the mood has vastly improved. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what happens when there's a break in the season. You've got a pre-season break. Obviously, the World Cup kind of filled in a bit of a gap, but after the World Cup finished, no football on the TV, no one going to the games. There's a lot of people twiddling their thumbs, and then that then leads to people getting upset over little things that don't really matter because they've just got a lot more time to think and a lot more time to focus on things. So yeah, I think when the football's back, I think that's something that will bring a lot of happiness to people. Football is life for a lot of people out there. So for the season to be back, obviously the Championship and League One, League Two were up back last weekend as well, which is exciting. So yeah, it feels like we're kind of getting back into the swing of things of English football. So yeah, looking forward to how the Premier League begins. Hopefully, it's as exciting as a few of those Championship games. I don't know if anyone saw any of the games from the Championship. Obviously, Wolves Blackburn first opening game of the season. That was really really exciting, and a few other ones. I saw the last minute free kick against Wrexham from Cardiff. That was really exciting as well. So, yeah, football is back and it feels good. It feels good. Kate Cadet says Luke Shaw has been at Man United for 12 years. I can't get my head around that. It's crazy. Yeah, he has been around for a long time. He's definitely in line for a testimonial if he wants it. So yeah, I think he's certainly been a good servant. Obviously, he's had a lot of injury trouble as well, which has really hurt him. But well, obviously it's hurt him. It's injuries. But yeah, for me, I think obviously last season he did well to kind of get. I think he played in all 38 of our league games last season. But at the same time, I think it feels like we should move on from the Luke Shaw era. I hope he proves me wrong and he has a great season, but I do feel like the consensus right now is that left back as a position we really do need to focus on and strengthen. So let's see if we do that in the last knockings of the transfer window. But fair play to Shaw for playing for United for this long. But at the same time, I think there does come a time where you do need to kind of move on and look for different options. Greg, thanks for joining. Greg, hope you are well. He says 2-0 United for me. Yeah, we'll get some score predictions going shortly. But yeah, 2-0, I would take that every single day of the week. Just any win on opening day works out for me, because as much as we are the stronger team in this opening fixture against Hull, I do think the fact we're going away from home to a newly promoted side, they can be difficult. They can be difficult games, can be potential banana skins. So we need to be careful with that. Mickey says, I'm not Baleba's biggest fan, but he did finish very well last season. Last 10 games, he was heading towards old form. Well, I mean, I hope he can bring that into the new season, despite the injury he picked up in pre-season. But yeah, I think the start of the season wasn't brilliant. So yeah, hopefully he can kind of refine that old form and maybe having better quality players around him in terms of technical ability. Hopefully will also improve him. I know Brighton actually are not a bad possession side as well, so it wasn't necessarily like he was playing with terrible players. However, I think you would hope that when he comes to United, maybe he's got kind of a better caliber of midfield partner next to him. So hopefully that'll bring the best out of him. But we'll see. And obviously, Michael Carrick, you've got Michael Carrick to work with as well, a very experienced top level midfielder in his day. So I'm excited to see how that relationship blossoms as well. Mickey says that Welsh derby was a great game. Yeah, it was a very good game. Last minute equaliser. Absolute scenes in the stand as well. So yeah, fair play. That the sort of limbs in the stands is the sort of thing you look at and go, yeah, football is back when you see that. Stephanie says Luke Shaw's an elite hypnotist to survive this long. Look into my eyes, now back in the room. That is a fantastic reference, by the way. That is a great reference. As Jules says, Luke Shaw is like Andy from Little Britain. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of comparisons. But yeah, it's. I said it. My feeling is, not on a personal thing in terms of, I think he's been a long time servant, 12 years at the club. I think you have to respect it, but at the same time, I think it probably is time to move on and look at other options. Whether we're going to do any deals by the end of the season, by the end of this transfer window, I'm not holding out a huge amount of hope. But the Baleba deal kind of came out of nothing, so who knows? Who knows? Thank you to everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Really appreciate it. Always appreciate your support. So yeah, let's actually, while we're kind of on the topic of Baleba and on the topic of who he may play with, let's talk about who I predicted in our starting 11 for the Hull City game. No sign of Max just yet, but if he does join, I will add him to the stream. It should be about an hour today, guys. So yeah, let me just get this up. It's been a while since I've hosted a stream, so do bear with me. But yeah, this is my kind of predicted 11 for the whole game. Now, I think early on in the season, it's much more difficult to predict starting 11s. Obviously, once you're kind of 5 or 6 games in, you kind of get an idea for what the manager feels like his best 11 is. And obviously, Carrick hasn't had all of his players at his disposal for the entirety of pre-season with the World Cup. So it's difficult to know which players are fully fit, which players aren't. Jules actually had a really good kind of graphic which showed all the game time that our squad got in pre-season. So yeah, this is what I've gone with. You might agree, disagree. Feel free to let me know in the live chat. But to be honest with you, I think it's going to be very difficult to get this spot on for anyone, really. I think Lamans is a fairly safe choice, although Dermot Mee obviously did great saving that penalty. I have gone with Dallo. I know in that last preseason game he started Mazraoui instead of Dallo, but I think Dallo is someone we've seen under Michael Carrick and under previous managers. I think they really like him, and I think he's someone who is seen as very hardworking. I think there's a lot of United fans that would say, again, he's someone that potentially to progress we need to move on from. But I think in terms of opening day, who's fit, who's available, who's going to work hard for you, I think he's going to put Dallo in the right back spot. I've gone with Maguire and Heaven as the two centre backs. I think this game against Hull is going to be very physical. I think Hull are going to look to exploit height into the box and try and ruffle us that way. I don't expect them to try and play any sort of possession game. I think it's going to be looking at trying to exploit counterattacks and balls into the box. Maybe I'm being archaic by suggesting that, but that's kind of my feeling. So I think going with a more kind of physical centre-back pairing with Maguire and Heaven. Also, this was the pairing that started the last pre-season game against AC Milan, so I've maybe read into that a little bit. So I've gone with Luke Shaw at left back, even though obviously we've just been talking about whether we need to move on from him. I still think that as of right now, he's the best left back in the squad. I know we've got Harry Amas as well, but it looks like he may be leaving the club for a small fee potentially. I don't know whether it's going to be this transfer window, but there's a lot of speculation around that. But Luke Shaw right now is probably the best we've got. So he goes in at left back. I've gone with Santos and Tielemans as the two. Now, probably there'll be people in the live chat, and if you're watching as a video in the comment section down below, talking about where's Kobbie Mainoo, and obviously Carrick does seem to really rate Kobbie Mainoo, which I'm happy about. I feel like I mean, again, this is one of those which is quite contentious, and Mainoo could slot into maybe where where Tielemans is. But for me, I'm sticking my colours to the mast of Santos and Tielemans as the pairing. I think obviously Santos has played every preseason game, so it feels like he's going to be fully fit for the season. Tielemans maybe came in a little bit later, but I still think that Carrick's going to put him in from the start, and we're going to see what he's made of. Mainoo obviously has played a few minutes. I don't think he's played a full 90 minutes in preseason, although I don't think Tielemans has either. But that's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going with. And I wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong with that. But I just feel like maybe they're going to put the two of them together. Yeah, to be honest with you, thinking about that now, that could be one that's quite heavily debated in the live chat, to be honest, because only surprised if Mainoo gets a nod, but we'll see. But it'll be interesting if they do play that. We'll see two new signings next to each other in the same team. So I have gone with Dorgu on the left-hand side. I think someone mentioned it in the live chat about whether it be Cunha, whether it be Dorgu. I think for the opening weekend of the season, we've obviously got a situation where Sesko isn't fit, so Cunha and Bumo, Xerxes, all these guys are kind of available. Obviously, Ahmad as well is available, and he was someone who I was thinking about putting in the starting 11 as well. But I've gone with Dorgu because I think Carrick again is really rates him, and it seems like we're doing this experiment playing Dorgu on the wing, and actually he's not doing too badly. To be fair, I think he's one of the livelier players in pre-season. So I put Dorgu there. Fernandez, obviously captain, is always going to keep his place in that side. And then I've gone with Cunha, kind of just in behind and Boomer. I think coming off the right hand side maybe, but probably floating around that front line. And I've gone with Mbeumo up front. I'm sure those players are going to kind of interchange because I don't think Mbeumo is an out and out number 9, and obviously Cunha can play through the middle, but again I don't think he's an out and out 9 either. So I suppose those two players can kind of move about as they like really. So that's my predicted 11. I'm sure I've got a few of those wrong. I'm sure I will get a few of those wrong when the lineup's announced. So we'll see. But let's see what you guys are saying in the live chat. Jules says, when do you think we'll see Mason Mount again, if at all? Yeah, obviously Carrick said in his pre-match press conference. In fact, let's get those comments up because that'll be good to actually kind of actually reference. But I did see the interview, and he did kind of talk about Mason Mount. I believe. I hope he did. But yeah, unfortunately, Mount picking up that injury. I think he's kind of in and around the training setup, but ultimately not really getting his. I don't think he's going to be playing in that first game. I think he's still kind of coming back. But I think Carrick's hopeful to have his services for maybe the next couple of games, which is kind of frustrating. Greg said that's a good 11. I hope so. Obviously, we don't know how they're going to perform on the pitch, but I think personnel-wise, it's not too bad. I think the forward line has definitely got talent in it. My hope is that we see the Mbeumo that started last season. I felt his form at the start of last season was brilliant. Towards the end, he kind of tailed off a little bit. But I think we want to see him start the season quickly. That's it. Stephanie just basically said what I was going to say. Thank you very much. That's perfect. Yeah, Jules Carrick's presser indicated he's close to coming back. Yeah. Which is good, but obviously it's annoying that he is picking up those injuries. Mickey says, enough of buying cover, Tellez, Malacia. Let's just replace Shaw. The example of buying cheap, buying twice. Yeah, I think, sometimes in the market you have to spend a bit of extra money, but ultimately, yeah, you have to spend a bit of extra money. But if you get a quality player that gives you longevity, then actually overall you'll look back and think it was a good purchase. Jules says, agree with that 11, except I think he might go for Ahmad over Cunha. Yeah, I think that's one that I was toying with, to be honest. But I went for Cunha because I think he had a good season last season. I know Ahmad in pre-season has been impressive, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like maybe Cunha had a better time of it when Carrick was in charge than Ahmad did. But at the same time, I do think Ahmad's a good option, and I think it's I don't want to say it's a make or break season for Ahmad because in the end he's still he's not old. It's not like he's coming towards the end of his career, but he has been at the club now for what 5 years, 6 years, and we've not really seen a proper kind of breakout season where he's become a star in the starting 11. We've seen bits and pieces of his quality, but we haven't necessarily seen it on a consistent basis. So I'd love to see more of that this season. So we'll see. Steph says Kieran's a Cunha century or an interchangeable with Mbumo. I think my thought process when I was coming up with this 11 was that maybe Mbumo and Cunha could kind of interchange throughout the game. Obviously, Mbumo has played on the right as well, and Cunha has been known to go through the middle. So that was kind of my thinking behind it. I'm not sure if I'm misguided in that thinking, but that's kind of what I went with on that one. Howdy, Berber. Thanks for joining. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Stephanie says, at least we know Mazraoui can play left back if needed. I prefer him over Dallo anyway, regardless of which flank. Yeah, and obviously Mazraoui started that last pre-season game against AC Milan, so wouldn't be surprised potentially if he gets a nod over Dallo. But I think long term, Dallo is one of those players that again has been at the club for a long time, and whilst he's been hardworking, it feels like if we're going to be pushing to the next level, I'm not sure he's a sort of player that is going to be in our squad. So he might prove me wrong. I hope he does, but I don't see it. A few new people as well. Steam Puller, thanks for joining. He says, should Carrick have a fixed lineup or keep rotating? For me, I think rotation is massively key this season. I think I don't think he does believe this, but if any manager comes into a season where they're playing in 4 different competitions and potentially trying to fight on 4 fronts, and you're going to have a fixed 11 that you play every week, then it's a bit misguided, to be honest. And I'm sure Carrick has been thinking about plans with his coaching staff about how he's going to rotate, which players are going to play which games, because often that's what happens. Under Sir Alex Ferguson back in the day, he would kind of have a plan for which players would sit out and which players would get the nod in certain matches, and that will be planned out kind of way before the start of the game. So, I'm sure Carrick isn't just going to be kind of winging it. I'm sure he will be rotating, and obviously rotation is going to be hugely important this season. Pundit says, thanks for joining. KD, hope you're doing well. He didn't say thanks for joining, but KD, thank you for joining. Hope you're well. He says, still trying to get the hang of things. That EPL resumes this weekend. Yeah, I know. It feels like it's crept up so quickly. But always exciting when the new season comes around. He also says, it now feels like the Baleba deal is slow because no here we go since Ornstein post. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like these things don't get tweeted unless they're 90% going to happen. I know we've seen a few deals fall by the wayside even after journalists put out stories about them. But I think this one's probably going to get over the line. So I wouldn't worry too much. But for me, I feel like he's a sort of player that we should have got in not just 2 years ago, but potentially a couple of months ago before pre-season began. So we could have actually, bet him into the squad a little bit. And obviously he's picked up this frustrating injury as well. So it's one of those where it's frustrating, but in the end of the day, it's good that we do have that player as well. So that is good. It's good that we've actually got him through the door. Obviously, it's not official as you rightly point out, but it looks like it's all but official. So yeah, hopefully um, he can hit the ground running. Greg says, yeah, I feel like AFCON really messed Brian Boom up last season, and then he came back and Ruben was gone. So hopefully we'll run smoother for him. Very, very good point with AFCON, actually. Really good point, Greg, because I didn't really take that into account fully. But yeah, that could have had a proper detrimental effect on him. Obviously, having those extra games and in terms of just taking his mind off United for a bit, that's not going to be something that's helpful in the middle of the league season. So yeah, maybe without that AFCON, maybe um, it'll be a bit easier for him to kind of get that momentum in a United shirt. And listen, I think the Mbeumo we saw at the start of the season is a real threat and a real asset to this team. But the Mbeumo we saw in the back end of last season is almost a little bit of a passenger, unfortunately. A few people to bring in. Volps, thanks for joining. Hope you're well. And I believe sorry, just having a look, just read through the chat. But yeah, no, thanks to everyone who has tuned in. Really appreciate it. And now I can introduce our guest to the stream as well. Max, Hull City fan, thank you so much for for joining me on the stream. Really appreciate you giving your time. I hope you are well, and obviously, new season nearly upon us. Let's just go straight into it. Hull City promoted to the Premier League through the playoff final, and I suppose an interesting kind of route with everything that went on last season. So yeah, firstly, how are you feeling going into the season? Do you feel optimistic? Do you feel worried? What are your emotions?
I mean, considering it's been a decade since we were back in since we were last in the Premier League. It's still hasn't quite sunk in yet that I'm seeing the Premier League logo on my membership. So there's that. But when we went into the playoff final, I was just like, this genuinely could go either way. Like there was no two ways about it. It was either going to be an absolute battering, or it'd be exactly like it was at their place where we won 1-0, and thankfully it was the right side. 3 playoff finals in a row that we've won 1-0, let alone just one in general, which is a little scary considering. Oh, hello, Cake. Long time no see. But yeah, I mean, it was a bit strange, I'll be honest, going from staying up on goal difference, thanks to Luton being terrible. But it's one of those that I'm thinking, well, everyone wrote us off last season, which, fair enough, I get. And then we end up finishing, yes, it was only just, but we got there. We finished in the playoffs, so it's like, okay. And then we get drawn Millwall, so we're like, oh, this couldn't be any better for us, could it? But I mean, I saw Millwall fans complaining about, oh, that goal should have counted. No, it shouldn't. Watch the replay and listen to why it got disallowed. You'll know why. But either way, they gave us a playoff, so I'll give them that. But yeah, we got through it eventually, and I mean, literally when we ticked over into added time in the playoff final, I sat there and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I just don't want to go any further. When we came on the attack with Hirakawa, I'm like, go on, break their hearts in the 95th minute. Go on, do it. I dare you. Ball ends up in. I'm like, sure, we'll go with that. And we get into the Premier League. It's like, it still feels surreal now talking about it, because to think that we've gone from playing, I don't know, Swansea and Wrexham to now playing Man United and Arsenal. Like, in my lifetime, well, obviously apart from the yesteryears that have gone by, I didn't think we'd get there again for a long time, and everyone can say, "Oh, um, that the team was amazing." We were, but only when we really had to be. Which, yes, you can do that in the Championship, whether it's playoffs or not, but Premier League you're gonna have a trouble. Um, and well, yeah, they do, but we've got a different one now because we decided to be absolute idiots. But there you go, we move. Um, Big up Oxen for making our kit a little more retro than I would have thought it'd be. But there you go.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, my mates still think that our kit for this season doesn't resemble the 2017 kit, which I feel is stupid because it's literally the exact same thing. But oh well. But in terms of actually coming into the season, like I'm not. Yes, people are writing us off, and I can say yes, we got rid of last season. Want to prove you wrong this time? Do I really think we'll do that? Absolutely not. Like
Hmm.
I want to be positive. I really do, but in a league where you're with the Giants and mid-table Mandem, it's not as easy. Like Arsenal have gone from being the most mediocre team that they've been since their previous success to finishing second a bunch of times, getting the P taken out of them, and then hello, won the league. Lovely.
Hmm.
They've now signed Bruno Guimaraes and a screw ton of players. Now they're looking at Ezri Konsa. It's like, I'm sorry, but if Arsenal don't go back to back here, then what is going on here?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Um,
I think you're right.
but like, I'm not bothered that we might go down because it's expected. Like, obviously, most people expect the three newcomers to go down anyway. Um, but it's like I've said to my mates that I go to games with. As long as we don't beat Derby's points record, I couldn't care. We could finish dead last with the same points as Southampton did. I could not care. Just simply on the basis of one, we've obviously beaten their record, but two, I'd just I'd just like to have some energy next season.
Hmm.
And as much as I want to be positive, as I said about, oh, we've made some good signings and all this, you look over at the other side of the Pennines and you're going, Elliot Anderson for 130 million. Like, what kind of money is that?
Hmm.
Like, yes, we were given 200 mil. We spent 70 of it on 8, 9-ish players, maybe.
Hmm.
Like, I had the conversation with my dad. Like, they have bucket tons of money. We got given 200 mil. Yes, it's all right. But the calibre of players that City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and all that have got,
Hmm.
we'll be lucky to even score more than 4 goals. But it's. I'm nervous going into this game alone, let alone the whole season. But it's like last season. I predicted that I expect the worst every game.
Hmm.
Because then if we do lose,
Not
oh well.
disappointed.
Well, that's exactly what I said. And then all the mates are like, "Oh, why are you being so negative?" I'm not being negative. I'm just being realistic. If that happens, then I'll be laughing in your face. But
Hmm.
but I've just been sat around just thinking about it. I'm like, what? Like, yes, football is unpredictable. Yes, Sunderland did a job, but even Leeds did a job. Like, it's not. I mean, I predicted Leeds to stay up and Sunderland to come down with Burnley. Well, 2 of them came through. Then Sunderland went, "No, we're going to get European football. Screw you."
Hmm.
Like, I, I don't have too many high hopes for this season, but if we can bring in some more players in terms of like Premier League experience, like we've been interested in Timmy Rugbinham from Everton. Honestly, I've wanted him for ages. Are we going to get him? At this point, it'll surprise me if we do,
Hmm.
because we were interested in, we put in bid in. Next thing I know, oh, injury in pre-season, shock horror,
Mm.
and
Classic.
well, yeah, exactly. And then next day, I find out in our best one of our best defenders, Charlie Hughes, who I've got on the back of the shirt, has had surgery, and it's looks like he's going to be out for the season. I'm like, right, well, what the fuck's this about?
Yeah.
What are we? Yes, we've got replacement centre backs, but what are we going to do?
Mm.
Like, it. The fact that Premier League teams wanted Charlie Hughes from the start just shows how good he is.
Mm.
Yes, he might not be Premier League level, and he might not like play over the likes of, I don't know, Ezri Konza, but I mean, it probably wouldn't have been Villa going for him anyway. But not the point.
Mm.
It's one of those where Irugmanum got injured. He's thinking about 6 weeks. Or well, Everton are thinking about 6 weeks, and I'm just like, right. Well, we've looked at a player before, and we've signed him, and he was injured for a whole 12 weeks, let alone 6. And we're now scared of 6 weeks because we're in the Premier League. Oh, scary. Like, I literally said this to my mates when I was in the cafe with them the other day. I don't care what it costs. I do not care if he's out for the season and we get out for half the season. We get him anyway, and then he's back anyway. Like,
Mm.
I'd rather him play with a broken leg than us not sign him at all, because I want him so bad.
Mm.
Because Premier League experience, his work rate is ridiculous. Every time I've watched him for Everton, he's there. Fucking Roy Kent of Richmond, just of Everton.
Yeah.
It's one of those, but it's still iffy. Like, we still don't know what's going on with it.
Mm.
Sergey has said that there's been some left to do, so praying one of them is Timmy, but
Mm.
you never know unless we go back in for him for January, which should also be nice. But whatever.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual season, do I think we'll stay up? No. Do I want to stay up? Obviously. But
Mm.
in the times we are now, with the teams that there are and the players of quality there are, we're going to struggle a lot. And as I said, as long as we don't beat Derby's points record, I could not care. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to see how it plans out. And the first game of the season, it's not really crucial, more like, but it'll be a good
Mm.
statement to have if we get a point or something. But there you go.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good one. It would definitely a good one. I think for the neutral as well. I think it's going to be a good atmosphere, and I think from a United point of view, it's a potential sticky fixture for us really. But no, I was just looking at a few comments in the chat, getting a lot of love in the chat, Max, as you've seen. One of the questions, and a few of the questions actually, I'll kind of put two in together. Was you kind of mentioned your transfer business, but in terms of the players you brought in and your squad overall, who do you think is the kind of player to watch for Hull City this season?
Out of the ones we've signed, geez. Well, to start with, the team that we had last season that we've still kind of got. McBurney's a poacher. He's not. I mean, yes, he's not quick. He's not Haaland fast. He's not. He's just not a runner necessarily, but he does have the ambition to get in the box and be there and be like, oh, ball there, thanks, I'll have that. Regan Slater, bought him for 50 grand, and he's now turned into about a £5 million player. And he's been absolutely brilliant for us. And I'm sorry to say this, City fans, but if he does go, then I'm not surprised. But as much as I want him to stay there, it would not surprise me if he goes to a Premier League side. Unlikely, I know, but you never know. Liam Miller, kind of, depending. Mo Balumi, decent, but probably not as good as people might think he'd be in the Premier League. Hughes, obviously, as I mentioned, one of the best centre-backs we've had in a long time. And he's really stepped up as a Jacob Greaves replacement as what he was brought in for. So Um, I am looking forward to seeing this side in the Premier League and seeing if we can get anywhere. One player out of our new signings, yes, I might get a bit of stick for this because he's not outfield, but Zalakis,
Mm.
what a goalkeeper! I watched him against Nice in the friendly, our final friendly 5 days ago, and yes, people can say, it's only a friendly, or they're a French team. Doesn't matter. No game in football is ever friendly necessarily. And at the minute, after that game, he made about 3 saves in the space of 5 seconds just to keep it at 0-0, let alone 1-0 up or whatever. Literally 0-0, and he was trying to keep us in the game, and he made 3 saves in the span of 5 seconds. It's like, might actually have a good keeper here.
Mm.
I mean, of course you've got Butland, but I mean, he see you later, buddy. Quick swap deal for our goalkeeper last season. He's already injured. Lovely, have fun.
Mm.
But it's going to be tough to say who's one to watch in terms of outfield, because obviously the players we've got haven't necessarily played in the Premier League, apart from McBurney and the like, and Crooks as well, kind of, because he was there for a couple of years. But apart from that, it's probably going to be our keeper, Zalakis, to be honest. Because as much people can say, oh, McBurney will do well, he can still score goals in the Premier League. He's not. Let's be honest. There's about 7 clubs, including Newcastle, for that matter of fact, of Dan Burn. If Dan Burn's at the back against Ollie McBurney, he's, no matter how angry and how in your head he can be, Dan Burn's just going to go, this guy's a bit insane, isn't he? But, it's like, people can say that he'll be good. But what people have got to remember is different sort of Premier League from the other year, from when he was last in it, should I say. And not only that, he was good in the Championship, and we haven't been in the Premier League for a while, and none of the team have. Well, at least half of it hasn't. And as much as I'm really wanting to be hopeful about it, it's going to be difficult. But as I say, Zalakis is probably going to be our best player in terms of just keeping us in games. If we don't have Charlie Hughes, I'm excited to see Charlie Hughes if he gets the chance to go. But it's genuinely going to be one of those where Zalakis will be starting, obviously, because Butland's injured for goodness knows how long now. I think it's about 5 weeks, maybe. But he's going to have to step up, and if he shows that he can do stuff in goal, whether it's distribution or just saving it, then we might be okay in terms of the goal difference, in terms of a possibility of a less of a goal leakage than it could have been. But it genuinely, this season, as I've said to many, this season is going to be a massive test. One we might fail, but either way, I'm happy that we got there. As it's been said by even Tottenham, it's about the journey, not the destination. And at this point, for Hull City, the journey has been just as good. Going from next to relegation and then promoted by the way we've done it before many times. As I said, 3 times in a row, 1-0 in the playoff final. You can't write it. Well, you could, but it'd be very difficult to. But as I say, this is genuinely going to be a test, and if we fail it, so what? We spent 70 million-ish on 9-ish players, sort of. Maybe 10 or 11, depending on when by the time the window shuts. And at the minute, I can't see us staying up. But if we were to, then holy Lord, has my dream come true. So yeah, and in answer to the comment that I saw get popped up, well, a couple of them, should we put in an offer for Dan Burn? Probably not, because we've got Charlie Hughes, and he's going to be out for season, but well, possibly out for season. He's going to be out for a bit, but I don't think we need another centre back. We've already got Egan, we've already got Ajayi, we've already got the Noble Mendy and Harrington or whatever his name is. So the centre back things aren't too bad. Yes, if we get Dan Burn, then great. I'll love him because, well, I used to follow Newcastle as part of the family. But it's not necessarily a necessity for me. I'm more focused on Irugbenham and or maybe someone else in the midfield at the moment, as well as a possible new striker or winger or whichever. But I think if we're going to get anywhere, we need to sign Premier League experience, and that's why I really want Tim Irugbenham. As much as I've wanted him for ages, that is another reason why I want him. And on the other fact of the other comment that I saw, yes, I do believe he will, Mr. Slab Harry Maguire. And a message to all you United fans and Leicester fans and whoever else, swivel on that one. We got him good. You thought he was shit. Look at him scoring a last-minute winner in a Europa League semi-final. Swivel on it, as Mark Goldbridge would say. But no, like he was a good player for us. He really was. And the last time he was obviously in the Premier League was 2017, when we obviously beat Leicester the first game, which was a shock to everyone, I think, at the time. We'd beaten likes like Liverpool. I saw something earlier that a post on Instagram about each Premier League club's last loss to Hull City. Arsenal, Spurs, both 2008. Man City 2010. Like Coventry, obviously 24, and Ipswich them two don't count. Leeds, I think that was 2020 as well. Sunderland 2024, I think. I could be wrong. So it's like we've shown we can beat teams. We even beat Sunderland in pre-season. Yes, everyone will say, "Oh, it's pre-season, so they weren't really trying." They put their best 11 out, and they still lost against us in pre-season. And they then went and got European football. So anything's possible in football, I suppose. But it's for Harry Maguire's sake. I've always loved him. I've always said he'll do well. Yes, he made mistakes at the start of his United career and a few in the Leicester career. I always knew no matter what happened when he was at us and then when he left that he'd be good. And when I saw that he got signed for 85 mil, I was like, he's going to be worth that one day. And look, well, he's not exactly worth it, but he's getting there, and he's a good defender. So no matter what other Hull fans think, and no matter what other Hull fans do, you best believe I'll be getting in picture with him if I can and clapping him onto the pitch, because he was unreal, and I miss him that badly. I'd want him back in a heartbeat. Then again, I'm not paying 90 million because United will probably scam that out of us, cheeky smack. But again, Maguire should get a good reception. If he doesn't, and if I hear boos from our fans, then I'm going to turn on every single fan that has done it, because there is no way a defender of that quality and for a defender of that stature currently where he is should be done. And I'm saying this now. Yes, it might not be Maguire to help you out with it, but I've made the bold prediction. It's you and Arsenal fighting for the league. I'm saying it like as much as I don't know if that was in your plan for the end of the stream. Who do you think wins and get whatever? But I'll say it again if that was a plan. But I've said it before. I've said it before to my mates. United Arsenal battle for the league, and if United beat Arsenal at least once, whether they get a point or lose the game at the other stadium, United win it. United's bounce back season is this one. As much as I'd want us to beat them or get a point, at least, I'd love to get a point. Am I expecting it? Absolutely not. I saw 2 videos back to back earlier. It was both this 1 ball of Hull City, 1 ball of Man United going off the circle, all whatever that is. First one I saw, Hull 4, Man United 1. I was like, right, okay, sure. If that happened, then lovely. Went on to the next one. Hull 1, Man United 4. So,
well, there you go.
The reaction was quite literally in these words, and there's the more realistic scoreline that I was looking for. Again, I don't know if you will score 4. I don't know if you will score 4. I don't know if we'll score 1. Well, we'll see. But it depends. I just don't know. But as much as United fans will disagree with that, and a lot of other fans will agree with that, I do believe United get something from this season, whether it's winning the league or champion. You at least of which one, but I'm in it now. You finishing Europa League and Champions League spots, depending on whatever. And that dude finally will get his haircut.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, he is properly desperate for things. I don't know whether, because obviously, I'm guessing that like the wins we got at the back end of last season don't count. I don't know if they count or not, but he might be only need 3. I don't know, but I'm sure he'll want to carry that on for as long as possible because
I saw the video from him on one of his shorts, and he's basically said, "I'm restarting. I've done a poll vote, and I've done a poll vote, and everyone that has done it has said restart it, because otherwise you're just gonna if Man United get 2 wins off the first 2 games, well, done. Wow, amazing. So he's going to restart it and see where it gets off. So good luck to him, but I hope we can somehow, us the Hull City can somehow leave you to wait an extra week.
Yeah.
Whether it'll happen or not, no, not a chance.
Oh, we'll see. But it should be a good game regardless. A few people joined, by the way. Weezer Better, thanks for joining. Hope you're well, and Tyrone as well. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. I was going to say I can't. I was going to probably this stream will be just over an hour long. So I reckon are you good for just another 10 minutes?
I'm free for as long as you need me, sir.
Oh, amazing! That's perfect. I was just checking.
You can go until 10 o'clock. I couldn't care. If you need me, I'm here until the stream ends. So go for it.
That's perfect, man. We've got a few. I've got a few comments coming in. Some interesting questions. Interesting. Let's look at some of the predictions. Wizard Bear puts a Hull 1, United 3.
Honestly, I'll be honest. Yes.
We got a few 3-1 predictions with here. Although I suppose you expect that from a United stream. Stephanie goes for 2-0 as well.
Even then, I guarantee there's going to be some people out there that will say 3-1 or 3-0 or even who knows? I've said 5-0 to Arsenal tomorrow night, so But I genuinely, my opinion, as much as I really want to get a draw, it's genuinely going to be 3-1 United. I can, and if it does go 3-1 United, I should have put a bet on it. But we will see. As I say, do want to get a point, or somehow even 3, if that's even possible. But it's one of those. Like I'm not expecting to win. I'm not expecting to even draw. So I'm saying 3-1 United. If we are to get something out of it, and we've scored, hooray. Even if it's a 0-0 draw, I could not care. If it's a draw or we've scored at least once, I couldn't care what the scoreline is. So I'm going with 3-1. I'll probably end up having to say that again eventually towards the end of the stream because I've probably said a bit already. That's probably supposed to be for later on in the stream. But hey,
No, it's all good. It's all good.
flows of conversation, and whilst everyone else is doing things, so join in the
Absolutely.
conversation. I suppose.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. It's a good question from Berber. He asks, "Where do you see United's weakness? Where do you think you can get at United?"
Well, see, that's the thing because of your midfield. I don't think we can play through the middle anymore. Like last season, the Premier League is literally built for us right now. Last season, sat back, went on the counter attack, and it worked. Yes, not as much as we wanted it to, but it worked enough. And I'll be surprised if we try anything different because, you know, the amount of quality players everyone else has got, it's like we're a sitting duck. Um, but it's genuinely going to be one of those. And realistically, I can see that being the case. Excuse me. Where we sit back and go on the counter attack. Whether we get anything out of any of them, we'll find out. But realistically, our best chances are going to be on the wing and just hitting you on the counter. Because if it works in the Championship, and with that, it's pretty much what we're going to have to do anyway, considering we're probably going to get absolutely ransacked in terms of attempts and possession and stuff. So, I mean, it's going to be one of those where we can't do what we did last season to a T, but we'll still try something. And this season genuinely will be, in my opinion, the perfect season for us in terms of the way we do things. Sit back, keep it possession based. If we lose the ball, just sit back and then hit them on the counter attack. That's it. And Bilal Ineos out, yes, he might be, but we'll see. It is. I mean, he is fucking 30 now. So, you know, um, it's one of those. So, it's genuinely going to be a case of, well, it's genuinely going to be a case of hit you on the counter attack. That's it. There's no two ways about it because I guarantee you for a fact, your midfield, with the inclusion of Yuri Tillemans, yeah, sorry, but no, we ain't getting through that. And yes, the defense is a bit shaky for you, but you can't really, we can't really say much. The only thing we probably will get away with in terms of going through the middle, out of position. So we'll see how it goes. As I say, I'm not fussed of how we play, as long as we play well enough to give everyone a good show, no matter what. Whether we lose 4-0 one week and then draw 1-1 the next, I don't care. Like I'm not fussed. Like, and I've seen a comment of say it with chest, even if it's just for bands. Well, sorry, but if you watch, well, most of you probably don't because you probably didn't know who I am until now. But if you were to watch a Max Tiger HD preview, whether it be an actual video preview or whether it be a live stream like this, and Tiger's Talk does return, it'd be quite different in terms of the fact of, if you don't like realism and the truth, have fun. Like I want people to subscribe to me. I want people to like my videos and stuff like that. That's what YouTubers do and Twitch streamers do. I mean, I'm not Twitch streamer, but besides the point. YouTubers want to make good content that people like and sometimes informational, depending on what it is. I do that with my F1, my whole city. So it's going to be one of them where if you do go watch my channel at any point and you see a whole city preview, whether it's for United or whether it's for, I mean, even Arsenal, I will say it exactly how it is. in my friend group, I'm known as the bluntest C word ever when it comes to sport, and you'll be able to see why. I will advise it if you do not like the swearing aspect, do not go over there without caution, because there probably is a few little bits. Hence why I haven't really sworn on here, because I don't know if I would have been able to, considering I don't know whether that's a restricted thing to do on this channel. So, but yeah. So again, I say it how it is. If it's not realism and it's not how it most likely could be, then don't want to hear it. Yes, I want to hear all this optimism. I was like, yeah, we'll do this, we'll get that. Right, okay. So if you want to hear that, go watch someone else politely, because yes, I want you to watch me, like my stuff, subscribe. I'm not gonna make you listen to optimistic stuff that will end up being total bollocks. Again, don't know if I can
Yeah,
swear,
that's fine. Yeah.
but
Go for it.
if language comes out, apologies. But I'm not going to sit around on my previews and reviews and stuff like that, sit there and give you optimistic bollocks. If I see shit, I will tell you I see shit. If I see good, brilliant. But oh, cake. I actually spoke to G-Wolf not long ago. But genuinely, none of this optimistic shit. Yes, I was optimistic last season, and I want to be optimistic this season. But in the league we're in, with the teams we're playing, with the players we'll be going up against, with the money we'll be going up against, Man City. Like, I mean, if Arsenal sign Vinny Jr., they're winning the league confirmed. Simple as that. Like, he'd instantly replace Martinelli, and good, I hate him. But there you go, that's just me. So, again, this is genuinely going to be a season where it's going to be a test, and on my previews and reviews and live streams and whatever, as I've said before, I'm going to be the bluntest ever. I'm not going to say the C word just yet. I will use it if I need to, but still. I am known as the bluntest twat in the world in my family and friends group. And I keep it the same on my YouTube, because yes, people might not like it. City fans might go, oh, why are you always so negative about us? Well, if you want to say that we're going to finish in 15th and then realise, oh, shit, I made the wrong prediction in next May when we've sat bottom of in league, go for it. Just make yourself look like an idiot, whatever, go for it. But yes, want to stay up. Will it happen? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be the blunt cunt that I am. No. If we are, it'll be by one singular point, and it'll be against Coventry or Ipswich.
Hey, 1 point's all you need, though. If you stay up by 1 point, that's all it takes. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. I mean, it's like last season. Coventry are all like, "Oh, we won the league. We did this. You're compared to us. You're going to do worse than us next season." And remind me, how many goals did you score against us combined? Oh yeah, 0. Oh, but you didn't score any either. We didn't concede any goals to a league leader. That's fine by me. Couldn't care. I'd rather concede to Millwall at the Den and Norwich City away in the final minute than lose to the league leaders. So, and WDB, it would not surprise me at all. The only team I can see staying up is, as much as I hate to say it, Coventry. I want to say I'll be honest. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to be optimistic for the first time in a while. Ipswich, Coventry, us, in that order, from last to whatever number it is. I can't remember now. 18th even. Coventry last. No, Ipswich last. Coventry next. Then us. We will either survive by a point or be very, very far away. uh, I reckon it'll either we'll stay up by a point or we'll go down by a difference of about 10 points into going into like the final 5 games of the season. So we'll see. But I don't disagree in terms of the fact all to go down. But in order, I'd say we are most likely to survive. Yes, you can say Ipswich have got better players and all this, but look at last time. What
That's
they did
true.
last time.
That's
And
true.
then that last season, they're celebrating second. Like, oh, we got second. Celebrating it with Ed Sheeran like they've just won in league. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot because you have a personal celebrity singer that you have to celebrate everything like in league. Jesus Lord.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they'll be celebrating in promote relegation to the championship just so they can go back up again. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how you get on. But as I said, I'm probably going to have to wrap up the stream very shortly. But the last thing I'm going to ask you, Max, and as I said, appreciate you coming on. Make sure to check out his stuff as well. Last thing, and obviously you tell us on it, your final prediction for this game. How do you see it panning out? Obviously, you've kind of already talked about it, but your final prediction. This is it. If everything else is wiped, what is your prediction for the game on Saturday lunchtime? Nearly forgot the time.
Yeah, well, 12:30s have never been good to us, so I'm not expecting something good here, unless we have a miracle. But first of all, thank you for everyone for being welcoming, and of course for letting me on. I apologise, I was a bit late, but I mean, couldn't time tea any better, could you?
No worries at all. No worries at all.
Yeah, so thanks for everything. Thanks for everything for that. I'll be happy to come on the review if there is one, and well, I'll be happy to come on for the away game. But yeah, so if you want to check out my stuff, I'll say that in a minute. So, but first off, on Saturday it's going to be a pinball. It's genuinely going to be like we're playing tipping point. Drop a counter, see where it lands, and that's going to be our football. Put a counter somewhere. Try and see if you can get some goal out of it. If you can't, oh well, go again. If you can't, if you still can't, then oh well. But the only thing I want right now is for us to put up a fight. I don't want none of this whole, I mean, we're going to lose like 7-1 because we haven't been in the Premier League for a while. As long as we put a fight against Man United, I don't care. And yes, people will say, oh, but that means we need to score. No, it doesn't. People say to me, 0-0s are boring. If you actually watch the 0-0s, some of them can be entertaining, whether there's goals or not. And at the moment, sometimes our football has been entertaining with a 0-0 or us not scoring and the other team have just gone, yeah, we'll have that. But what people don't realise is the performance isn't the only thing that gets you a win or a point. It's your courage. And we showed that last season. We played Millwall at home and then went to the Den in the semi-finals of the playoffs. We won at the Den, which is where everyone writ us off completely. And from the amount of Millwall stuff I watched, everyone was saying like 3-0. Yeah, shove your Mill up your ass now. Politely, of course. Lion to tiger, respect and all, kings of the jungle. But you did kind of get mauled, so lovely. But yeah, as I say, it's genuinely going to be like you're playing tipping point for us. Drop a counter, see where it goes. And I think it'll work a couple of times and we will get something out of one. Whether it be from the counter-attack or from a resulting corner or something, I don't know. The Championship's version of Arsenal, for all I care. But as a prediction, it's going to be one of those. If we're to score, it's going to be a consolation no matter what. And regardless of what the score is at the time, could be 0-0 and we score and we go 1-0 up. Sorry, lads, not going to last. If it does, then somehow Man United have just disproven my idea of them getting top 6 or top 8 or whatever it is now. So, again, I want to draw. Don't see us getting a win. I'd love a draw. I'd love a win, obviously. Duh. And I'd love a draw. But in my opinion, not going to get close to a win. Might get close to a draw, but not close enough. So, final prediction, it's going to be one of those games, and it'll finish Hull City 1, Manchester United 3. So Carrick up to a flyer in the new season. Yeah, I'll be making sure to clap Harry Maguire on and off the pitch regardless. So he'll get a good reception out of me, whether the other City fans agree or not. But yeah, so thank you again for letting me on, everyone, and being so welcoming. Again, this wasn't so last minute in terms of availability, but apologies again for being a bit late to you all, because you probably expected me a bit earlier. But I do appreciate it. I will come on for the review if there is one. I don't know if there is one yet. I'd have to have a chat with Rich about that one. But if there is, I'll be happy to come on after the game. Well, depending on when you're doing it. Because I'm off to the rugby literally 3 hours later. So,
of course, yeah.
So if it's on Sunday, I'll easily do it. No problem. So we'll see. I'll speak to Rich about it, and if there is one and we can pick out a time for it, amazing. You'll see me there. But as I say, appreciate letting me on, appreciate being so welcoming, and let's just hope we give a good, proper first game. Arsenal Coventry, who cares? Hull Man United is where it wants to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Finally, the MKM Stadium can look a little less shit. And I'll be honest, I am surprised that we didn't rent out the whole North Stand to you guys. But as it was then rightly said by one of our stewards, if we went back down, we would not be able to cope with that. So, best to keep it the way it is just in case. And but yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And as I say, I might be on the review depending on if there is one. And if there is one, then it'll obviously depend if Rich wants me to join it. So again, for the final time, I've said it too many times already, but you guys have been great. So I appreciate the welcomings and appreciate me coming on. I have seen a couple of comments about this, so I will say my stuff if I'm allowed to. So YouTube, obviously, I mean, I don't know if you can see the banner at the bottom, but you probably can. So my YouTube channel, Max Tiger HD, as previously implied, and my Instagram is MaxTigerHD_official. If you want my Twitter, you can always either pop it in the comments of one of my videos, or you can add my Instagram and message me on there. And if there's any United, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, whatever, any of those fans, any of the Premier League fans, really, that want to do a preview, whether it be live or just a video, I'm not bothered, then I'll be more than happy to let you on, because why not? More the merrier when it comes to talking about football. And it means I'm not just talking to a screen, I'm actually talking to people. So again, if you do want to go watch me, people, then Max Tiger HD is my YouTube channel. I probably will be doing a Manchester United preview at some point within the next 48 hours. Well, less than that now, but regardless, within at least the next 24. So if you want to see that, or at least see the review, depending on if I can do the preview or not, then head over to Max Tiger HD and then you can decide whether or not to subscribe and like my videos, depending on your thoughts. Again, not going to make you subscribe, not going to make you like my videos. It's not a problem if you don't like them and you don't subscribe. It is free, so, and it helps me out. So if you want to, go for it. I'll be very appreciative. And but if you don't, then oh well, maybe the next person will. But if I do get some more subscribers, I will be able to get some green cash. So that'll be nice. But yeah, so I need 500 English 500 subscribers to do that. So the sooner I get to 500, the sooner I earn money, depending on how little it is or how much it is. But as I say, if you want to go watch my stuff, Max Tiger HD, and then you can obviously follow me on Instagram, Max Tiger HD_official, and you can obviously ask for my Twitter over Instagram. So we'll see how the game goes, and if you do end up going over to my channel and subscribing and watching my videos, I'll see you over there, and I shall see you over there for the Manchester United preview and review, and I should then hopefully, maybe, just maybe, if Rich is doing one, I'll see you for the review on here as well, if he allows me back. But, yeah, been a pleasure, and always free to hop on any stream of any sort, whether it be a game of against Hull or just a game in general, or even transfers. Not bothered, just anything really, and I'll be happy to join up. So just if there is a review, and then obviously if there's anything else you want me to do, as well as the preview and review for the other game at your place, which I definitely will be going to, then I'll be happy to join on. So again, guys, appreciate your welcomes, and if you are going to go subscribe to me, that'll be really helpful, and I'll make sure to shout you out in the preview or the review, depending on which one it'll be, depending on my availability tomorrow, which should be absolutely the whole day. So I shall see you over there, and if you do subscribe and watch my videos, and yeah, I'll then hopefully, depending on Rich's thoughts and opinions, I shall see you all on Sunday-ish, Monday afternoon or evening, depending.
Yeah.
We'll see. It depends on what works best for everyone, really.
No.
As long as it's not Monday between 12 and 2, then I'll be all right, I think. But yeah, so I'll see you over on my channel if you also if some of you subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you at some point on Sunday or afterwards, depending on when the review will be. But again, for the final time, appreciate everything, for the welcomes that you allowed me on in the first place, and just appreciating a whole fan's opinion, because I guarantee people are going to write my opinions off no matter what I say. So
yeah.
Well, again, thank you all, and I hope to see you on Sunday or whenever the review is. Just we'll have a talk of times, but
Yeah.
hope to
Nice.
see you, and I'll let the stream end, and enjoy my last few hours of calmness before I end up shouting at a referee for the next few minutes.
Calmness before the storm. Well, yeah. Well, Max, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on. As you said, check out all his social medias mentioned, and go over there and give him all the love and support that you have in the live chat. But yeah, thank you to everyone for tuning in as well. Really appreciate it. I'm sure Rich will be back on another stream very, very shortly, but I've enjoyed the chance to step in and host, especially being with Max as well. So thanks, guys, for watching, and let's hope for an interesting game. Obviously, from a United fans' point of view, opening day win for United would be brilliant, but I think it's going to be a sticky game. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it.
Just quickly, I've seen a comment from Greg. Is there one player in the Premier you're worried about this season?
Go on.
Yes, and it's not necessarily the biggest. He's not the biggest player that's known, but I'll be honest, Tonali at Spurs or Bruno Guimaraes at Arsenal, yes, probably not going to be amazing first few games. But with those two and me watching them at Newcastle, I'm not looking forward to it. So we'll see. But they are two that I'm looking at. Of course, you've got the likes of Haaland and Saka and everyone else. But genuinely, this season for everyone, let alone us, this is going to be a midfield season. And if the midfield works well and the defense is strong enough, you might just be all right. But I'll let the stream end and I'll stop talking until the review happens. But yeah, again, appreciate it. I'm always up for any time. So anytime you need me, just give us a shout. Whether it's you or Rich, up to it depends on when each of you is free, and I'll either see you or Rich or whoever it is. It might be you, which I won't be bothered about. It's been a nice chat. So
yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, I'll see one of said co-hosts / hosts for the review. But until then, again, if you want to subscribe, then go for it. You don't have to, of course, but it's free. It'll help me out, and you'll get a shout out. But yeah, so appreciate the welcomes. Appreciate me being allowed on. So if there is a review, then I'll see you guys on it. Yeah. And again, from me this time, thanks for watching, and I'll let the stream be finished off by their own.
Nice one. Cheers, Max. Thank you very much. As we always said, thanks for coming on, and thanks to everyone for watching. Hope you have a good rest of your evening, and you'll probably see Max on the post-match review. But until then, there's probably some more content coming out tomorrow on Rich Sports. Sorry, not Rich Sports. On United TV, it used to be called Rich Sports, of course. Anyway.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I recognised the name when he messaged me on Instagram. Hold on a minute, I remember you, don't I? Yes, I do.
I forgot he changed it. Yeah. Oh, well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Check out Max's stuff, and we'll see you tomorrow, probably for another stream. But until then, take care and have a good evening. Cheers.